Hello, welcome to Freezer Meals 101. I'm Christy.
And I'm Charla, and today we are doing one pot freezer meals. And these are awesome because I'm not a fan of dishes. I don't think it's a secret.
Who is?
Oh, some people actually like doing dishes.
You wouldn't have such a problem with it if you didn't have such a process.
Yeah, maybe. I'm a little particular when it comes to dishes.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of an understatement.
She has a system, and I do the system sometimes. I adhere to the rules of the house of what can go in the dishwasher and what can't, and how clean it has to be before it can go in the dishwasher.
I wash my dishes thoroughly before they go in the dishwasher.
Really, they're just getting sanitized at their house. My dishwasher at my house cleans them. But I remember we had not been known each other very long, and you were at my house, and I gave you a dirty fork. And I'm like, oh, I've been washed. And she's like, at my house, that wouldn't have happened. I'm sure she didn't say it with quite so much sass, but there are times where I will have like a fork that's got a little bit of egg left on it, and at my house, that wouldn't have happened. And I laugh at you.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. I laugh about it. I think it's hilarious. That's your problem, not mine.
And the funny thing is that like the rest of my house is just a disaster all the time.
It's not.
Like there's clutter. It's bad.
Okay, her other website is called The Chaos and the Clutter.
For a reason.
For a reason.
Like it's.
You raise 7 kids, you're gonna have a house.
I have clutter. I'm you know, it's bad. Like it's better than it used to be.
It's better than it used to be.
Yeah. So it's hilarious to me that I am like the dishes are always clean.
Back to the one pot. This is what we're here for today.
Man.
And a lot of times, if you find a one pot recipe online, it's really not one pot, or it shouldn't be one pot.
Yes, and they don't necessarily all translate to freezer meals very well.
No.
So you guys are here today and you think, you know, the magic of whatever, this just happened, but this has been a year in the making.
Yeah, it's because it's hard to find them. And then
we test.
We're standing in Charlotte's test kitchen right now. And Christy has a test kitchen too. But yeah, we not only do we have to look at the recipe and make sure that it's going to work, we do taste it to make sure it's delicious, or we don't
include it.
We don't keep it. And it has to be freezable.
And yeah, absolutely.
So sometimes we convert things to make them freezer ready, right?
So it has to be able to like freeze and thaw and cook and all the
and
things.
still be delicious.
Yeah.
So these are tried and true.
They are tried and true, and we've been really working on some of these for you because we had some that we knew worked. And
we're like, let's do a one pot video.
Yes. So then we need more.
So we have found some. You're going to be pleased with these.
We've been testing.
One of them, you're going to be blown away.
It's so good.
I
was just telling Christy this morning that like I think I want this for my birthday this year. Like my birthday is later this month. I think I want this for my birthday. Like it's so good. It's like better than a restaurant, I think.
I asked her yesterday, I'm like, how was your day? And she said, you know, I had saved some leftovers of this. It's the Cajun chicken one pot pasta. And her son had taken it for his lunch to take to work. And she said, I cried. It was so good. I cried because so my daughter is sick, my grown daughter, and so I took her baby, he's 2 months old, and so I took my grandson yesterday for the day, and so I had different plans, but obviously I have to rearrange them because she's sick, and so I took the baby, and he's so cute. He is adorable, but he's really gassy and fussy, and you have to hold him like the whole time. And so I didn't have hands that I could make myself another meal. Like, sure. And so she's like, oh, I'll just have the leftovers.
I was so hungry, and I was like looking forward to it because it's so good. And I had a Zoom meeting in the morning while I'm holding the baby, and I'm getting hungry and tired, and I'm like, I can't wait for that pasta. And I go, and there was enough for 3 or 4 people left. So I know it's going to be there.
19, so he eats enough for 3 or 4 people.
Goodness. I was so mad. I was so mad.
Oh, we just totally called him out. Sorry. Yeah. But
But, and the thing that was most frustrating about it is he did not eat it all. And he left it out all day, not with a cold pack or anything. And so, like, it was not usable. Anyway,
We'll make it again. We will make this one many times. It's so good.
We will absolutely be making it again because I have to, because now I'm craving it. And Christy made it at her house, but all the leftovers were gone, and so, because it's that good.
It's that good.
And the only reason I even had leftovers is we did not have a lot of our kids home that night because they were, you know, working out with friends, whatever. They're at that age.
And you had a lot left over?
I had a lot left over.
Yeah, I had an extra kid at my house. And I'm like, it's a little spicy. Just so you know, they loved it. And they aren't known for their spice tolerance. So
it's just that good.
It's just really good. It's
okay,
really
so
good. Let's get to the meals.
Since we're talking about that one, let's do that one first.
Let's do that one first.
So this Cajun chicken one-pot pasta is, you're gonna cook up your chicken ahead of time and cube it. Then you're gonna add some Cajun seasoning. We used a homemade Cajun seasoning that Christy made. We're adding red pepper, yellow pepper, red onion, some garlic cloves, chicken broth, and then our original recipe called for some fire roasted tomatoes, canned fire roasted tomatoes, and I am sure that I bought them, but we couldn't find them, and so it's a mystery. I still have no idea where these tomatoes ended up. But in my cupboard, I had these tomatoes with spicy red pepper, and we decided to give that a try instead, and it was a happy accident because that really made it. Yeah.
It made the dish.
And so our recipe that's going to go in the Freezer Meals 101 Club is going to have the spicy red pepper tomatoes in it because it's necessary. And then we added half a block, so 4 ounces of cream cheese, and a 1/4 cup of heavy cream. Now, gotta give you a little warning on this one. So we froze it, thawed it, and when I thawed mine, it had little like white dots in the bed.
When I saw it, I first thought, oh, it's like when you pour cream into coffee and it's gone bad, right?
Yes.
Or that it's soured somehow, like when you're making lemon, like the fake buttermilk.
Yeah.
You know, you add your lemon juice to the milk to curdle it. It looked curdled.
Totally. And so I thought maybe the cream cheese was bad, although I knew it was freshly bought, and you know, I knew it was fine. And so I was concerned, but I knew that everything that we used in the recipe was fresh. Nothing was past its expiry date or anywhere near its expiry date. So I decided to cook it up anyway. Again, this is our test kitchen, so we're trying to figure out like what works and what doesn't. And I thought maybe it's like the cream cheese in really like tiny dots and they'll melt. I don't know. I just was like, who knows? So I cooked it up, and sure enough, those dots went away. And it was amazing.
It was creamy. It was
so good.
Rich and delicious. Oh my goodness.
So you're gonna add you're gonna put this in a giant skillet, and then once it's boiling, you add in 2.5 to 3 cups of penne. Now, when I made my first batch, I added in 2 cups, and that wasn't enough, so it needed more. Christy tried hers with 2.5 cups, and it still probably needed more, so we're gonna go with 2.5 to 3 cups of penne would be just the right amount.
It's very saucy.
Yes, and it's so flavorful.
It's so flavorful.
Oh my goodness. Go and try this.
You have to make this.
One pot Cajun chicken pasta because yum.
One pot bolognese is made with a pound of ground beef, minced onion, minced garlic, pasta sauce. It can be any kind of pasta sauce that you like, anything that is your favorite that just comes in a jar or a can, some diced tomatoes, and chicken stock. You can add the chicken stock now, but you can also save it and add it later on the day of cooking if you want to have a little bit more freezer room and have a thinner bag in your freezer. You want to squish it all together and seal it up and lay flat to freeze. On the day of cooking, you want to thaw it, bring it to a boil in a large stock pot, and then stir in your pasta. Again, 300 grams of penne pasta is about 2.5 to 3 cups. About 2.5 would be good. And you're going to stir it occasionally until it's tender. It might take about 20 minutes. And enjoy. It's also very good.
The one pot sausage pasta, for this we used, now here in Canada we call it kielbasa. I think that a lot of the United States pronounces it kielbasa, but it is garlic sausage, Ukrainian sausage, that kind of idea. And so we've sliced that up, added it into our large freezer bag. We've added some bell peppers in there, some red onion, diced tomatoes, and for that you're including all the juice from the diced tomato because again, you're gonna need some liquid later to cook that pasta up in. Then some salt, pepper, red pepper flakes, and chicken stock. Now, you can add the chicken stock now, or you can add it on the day of cooking if your freezer space is of a premium. You're going to take all the air that you can out of your freezer bag because when you're freezer cooking, air is that pesky thing that causes the freezer burn and none of us want that. So you're gonna take all that air out, seal it, and then you're gonna put some mozzarella cheese, about 1.5 cups of shredded mozzarella cheese in a medium-sized freezer bag. You're gonna staple the medium-sized bag to the large bag above the seal. Now for this one, we also added the pasta. It's just 2 cups of pasta. So we also added the pasta into a medium-sized bag and stapled that to the bag as well. Now you can do that with any of them, but when it's a larger amount of pasta, like 2.5 or 3 cups, then it does get to be quite large in your freezer and you can just keep the pasta in your pantry if you prefer. So either way with this one, but because it's only 2 cups, we just went ahead and stapled it to the bag so that the day of, we're gonna have everything we need already all together. On the day that you go to make this, you're gonna thaw it and then in a large pot, just add everything in there. Once it is boiling, you're going to add your pasta and just cook it for like 15 minutes-ish until the pasta is all cooked through. And then you can add the cheese at the end and just stir it in until it's melted. Serve it. This one would be really good, in my opinion, with some red pepper flakes on top because I like things spicy. But this is a really nice 1-pot meal that has your meat, your vegetables, your starch, and your dairy. So it's got like all of the food all in one. So I wanted to just stop here for a minute and tell you about something that's really helpful if you're doing multiple freezer meals all at the same time. And that is to do like proteins together and to prep ahead. So for these meals, we've got 2 recipes that call for cooked cube chicken, and we've got 2 recipes that call for cooked ground beef. So for these, we prepped all of our ingredients ahead. We did our ground beef on cookie sheets, and I lined them with foil so that they don't make as much of a mess. Right. Put them in the oven at 400 degrees for 15 minutes, and then we take a little masher and stir that around, and then we put them in the oven again for about another 10 to 15 minutes and stir occasionally. And I drain my grease out at the first 15-minute point.
It allows it to crisp up nicer instead of just sitting there boiling. Basically.
Totally. And once all the pink is gone from your ground beef, then it's prepped. And if you want, you can even do that the day ahead, put it in your fridge overnight, and then, and that's kind of what we often do. But when you're assembling the meals, then you want to do the ground beef meals one right after the other so that you're just, dumping the things in. And you can keep a 1 cup measure in there to do your scooping. Yes. and it's 2 2/3 cups ground beef equals 1 pound.
Right.
So that's a really easy way.
Because then you just scoop, and then you're on to the next recipe. You're not washing anything. You're already in the scooping mode. You already have your measuring cup in your ground beef. That's totally a good point, Charlotte.
And if you double these, then, you end up with more meals, as we were saying.
Yeah, and you're already in mode. That's always our number one suggestion. If you're just starting out with freezer meals, just make 2 of everything. You can eat one, freeze the other, and build up a little stock pile, and then you might have a whole week where you don't have to cook anything.
Or a month.
Ooh.
It's so awesome.
It is really awesome.
And yeah, if you're prepping all the things ahead, and then a lot of these recipes call for, onions, obviously, in multiple recipes. And these recipes have peppers in multiple ones. And so, again, you're just prepping those things ahead, and you can just dump them in the bags as you go. Assembly becomes really fast. And then for chicken, sometimes I cook it in the Instant Pot if it calls for cooked chicken. It's pretty fast in there. But if I'm doing larger quantities, then again, I do them in the oven on a cookie sheet. And then when they're just a little bit cool, chop them up so that they're cubed, and they can go right into your freezer bags. So that's just a little tip to help you get these in your freezer faster.
I have one even bigger tip for you. Say you have 5 recipes. You're going to go through each one, and you're going to mark down how many ground beef you need, how many chopped onions you need, how many green peppers, red peppers, yellow peppers you need. And it can be a little bit cumbersome when you are first doing this, and it becomes a big part of prep. You're not even prepping yet, and you're doing math, and you're getting organized, and you're getting ready to go shop because you need to know how many onions you need. You need to know how many onions you're going to mince, how many you're going to chop, how many are going to be sliced. So do you know what we have? We have the Freezer Meals 101 Club, where all of that is taken care of for you. We have a couple hundred recipes in there, and it's growing. Every month we add more. They've been through the test kitchen. Don't worry, they're delicious. And they can all be frozen, they can all be thawed, they can all be cooked. So you can make a meal plan and add your recipes to it, and it's going to spit out a shopping list and a prep list. So you can look and see, oh, I need 6 diced onions, I need 3 minced onions, and you haven't had to spend an hour, double checking your math and getting it all ready. You just go take your shopping list, go to the store, come home, do your prep, bam, make your meals.
It takes all of the brain work out of it, and it's so nice.
It's so easy. Freezer meals save my sanity every single day. And if you've been around for a while, you've seen our freezers. They are packed to the hilt all the time, and they really are.
It's so nice. And like yesterday when I was saying that, I had my grandbaby here, and it was unexpected. I was not expecting to spend the whole day, right? But I still got supper on the table for my family, because as soon as the first of my kids to come home from work, I was like, here, and then I had the freezer meal out already. All I had to do was put it in a skillet. That was it. And
that's how we live on a regular basis.
Yeah. And my whole family ate because I didn't have to do anything. No chopping, no browning, no nothing. I was just supper.
So
full meal.
Look down below, have a look at the club, and see if it is something for you, because it is. Trust me, it is. And
if you want to save time, money, and your mental space.
Absolutely. Join the club. Come join us on Facebook, on our Facebook group. There's a link down below. Nicest people ever. If you have questions about freezer meals, you come and see us in the freezer meal Facebook group, and we can hang out and be homies. But really, join the club. It is the best present you could give yourself. This chicken pasta for one pot is not to be confused with the Cajun chicken that we just had earlier. It is really delicious though. You start it with your diced cooked chicken breast, and we'll add in some salt and pepper and some onion, garlic, Italian seasoning, and some parsley. We'll add in our diced tomatoes, and in this case they were drained, and we'll add the moisture back in the form of chicken broth. We'll add in some heavy cream and a little bit of Parmesan. In a separate bag, we are going to mix together some mozzarella cheese and some more Parmesan so that it can be sprinkled on when we're cooking. And we'll have about 2.5 cups of penne that we'll need. We'll just keep this in the pantry for now and bring it out on the day of cooking. It doesn't need to go into your freezer. So we mix all these together, lay it flat to freeze. On the day of cooking, you're going to let it thaw, bring it to a boil in your large skillet or maybe a big stock pot, and bring it to a boil and then mix in your pasta. Give it a stir every few minutes and let your pasta become tender, 15, 20 minutes. And if you needed to, you can add a little bit more chicken broth in to make sure that it is, that there's enough moisture there to handle the pasta. Then you can top it with the mozzarella cheese right on the skillet, or you can save it and top it on the individual servings. Some real pizzazz to this meal. This fantastic meal is a one-pot taco spaghetti. I'm gonna admit, when I first heard about this one, I was like, but it is really delicious. And we have an alternate use for it, and I'll tell you about it at the end. Start it with your ground beef. You're gonna add minced onion, taco seasoning. We used homemade taco seasoning on this one. And a can of Rotel. And in a separate bag, we add a cup of shredded cheddar cheese. On the date of, you're going to need 8 ounces of spaghetti noodles and 3 cups of water. You're going to add everything together in a giant skillet. You're going to cook the spaghetti right in the skillet with the other food, and it's going to be flavorful and delicious. And at the end, once it's cooked, you want to sprinkle it with that cheese and let it melt in, and then serve. The alternate that we use this taco spaghetti for, I took it out a little while ago, and my husband looked at it and said, honey, I'm really just not feeling spaghetti tonight. It's just us. What do you say we do something else with that? He said, this is what he said to me. Can we put it on toast or something? And I'm like, why don't I make nachos with it? And it's got the Rotel in it, so it's already got the little tomatoes. I just chopped up some jalapenos and shredded more cheese. And I made a little tray of nachos, and we had an in-home date night with our one-pot taco spaghetti. It was actually really nice. Yeah.
Very nice.
Freezer meals, saving marriages across North America. A lot. Do you know what? I'm not even joking. There is some truth to that because it just takes so much pressure off.
Yes.
At 3 o'clock.
It decreases your stress level.
At 3 o'clock every single day, what do you think? Oh, what am I going to make for supper? I never have that. Do you?
No.
No.
I used to. I remember. It was so long ago, but I remember those days, and it was a stress.
Yeah.
Like and it has happened, like very, very, very rarely, but it has happened in the last 15 years or whatever that I ran out of freezer meals.
Or stuff happens that you didn't take anything out and plans changed, and all of a sudden you're like, but there's little tricks to thaw it faster.
Absolutely.
There's some that are,
but when
30
I run
minutes
out,
or less.
I've been like, how do people live like that? Like, that
Sounds
sounds terrible, but
to eat every single day.
How do they have the brain space
Yeah.
to have to do this every day? Because if it's 1 week for me, and even when I go on vacation, if we're staying somewhere and usually with such a large family, we are staying somewhere with a kitchen, I bring my freezer meals with me.
I take them camping.
Yeah.
I know people in our club have camping meal plans that they'll make 4 or 5 freezer meals just for camping. And I mean, okay, camping in a trailer, to be fair, most of them are going. But
this year,
you did some camping over your campfire.
Oh, I'll put a video right there.
Do it. It was a good one.
All of those meals I did either on one of those little camp stoves or right on the campfire. The whole thing.
And that's especially exciting because
I
you're
hate
so
camping.
outdoorsy.
I hate camping. I hate being outside. But well, I don't hate all being outside. I like hiking, but I don't like. I just in general don't. I don't even like eating outside. But
True.
this year I brought all the meals with us as freezer meals, camping, and I really did. I did them all. Yeah, there's a video of us making them, but then there's the video that I'm going to put up there is of our family actually eating, like cooking and eating these meals.
Freezer meals are life.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
You can do it too. Just join us in the club, join us on Facebook, hit like, hit subscribe. We'd love to see you again. If you don't know us, we're Charlotte and Christy. We're neighbors. We've been doing this for 10 years together. And we just thought we'd make a little show about it.
We thought we'd share with the world how they can do this because it has saved us so much that we want to help other people be able to feel this like freedom of not having to worry about what am I going to make for supper? Oh, I forgot to take something out. Oh, I don't have the right ingredients. Whatever.
Yeah.
I don't have that anymore, and you cannot have that too. So thank you for joining us today to learn about these one pot freezer meals. And we're going to put a link right there to a video of all skillet meals because these are sort of skillet because they're just the one
I make
pot
mine in
on
my
the stove.
stock pot, but yeah.
But those are all skillet, and
So they're quick to make, under 30 minutes. They're delicious. Lots of them have vegetables right in like a stir fry. So it's a full meal. You just need to make some rice.
Great busy weeknight meals for families. So
Awesome.
check those out and happy cooking.